Yes, everyone, welcome back to the channel. Stephen Howson. Some Glazer news and obviously positive Glazer news. How's it going, everyone? Get any questions that you've got. We might end up doing a little bit of a live here, so hit me up with any questions that you've got, and I'll delve into what's been going on with the Glazers, and I'll give you my thoughts on the news therein. All right? Okay, so a little phrase that I want to familiarise yourselves with is, it is my understanding that. Now, that phrase comes from someone saying, I've been told, but I can't tell you who. Right? So if you ever hear me say, it is my understanding that, that is code word for someone's just told me the following. So when I see something along the lines of what I have just seen right here, right now, which is BBC Sport understands that if the Glazers sell, which is not certain, which is a hell of a sentence, a deal is likely to be done by the spring. So there's a lot of moving parts here that I can't fully wrap my napper around. So it's Simon Stone's article, and Simon Stone is about as connected as you can be. So it's always worth. There's a couple of people that you always listen to. David Ornstein's one, Simon Stone's one. When it comes to United, Laurie Whitwell's managed to get himself in that zone, and of course Andy Mitten. These are the people that if they say something, watch out, because there's a very, very strong chance that what they're saying is absolutely bang on. So what Simon Stone is saying here is as follows. BBC Sport understands that if the Glazers sell, which is not certain, this is the bit that these two are almost like, if the Glazers sell, which is not certain, a deal is likely to be done by spring. The deadline on it gives me hope that it's not certain. Is he just covering his back there? This seems very, very, very positive. Very, very, very positive. A fact deal could be done by spring. And he goes on to mention a few other things, like talks about the support, but gives it a little bit of context in case no one has got a clue what he's talking about, which I find unlikely, but it is what it is. It talks about the requirements for the new owners to build a stadium. And as I was reading it, I was thinking, it mentions the new owners will benefit from the unpopularity of the current owners, because it is almost a case of who could possibly be worse than what we've had. And it flashed into my head. It's the same thing, but 180 degrees. Following Fergie. Who can possibly follow Fergie? You're always going to do worse, right? Well, who can possibly follow the Glazers? Unless you just set fire to the place, you're going to do better than the Glazers. Literally, your mate down the pub, the old pub boy, is probably a better owner than the Glazers. Because of the fact that leverage buyouts are now illegal in Britain, or in English football, I should say, you're not going to get another owner that does it the same as the Glazers and puts a lot of debt onto the club. Now, you could have an owner that refuses to invest a penny into the club, but Manchester United makes so much money that you'd have to proper balls up all the commercial stuff and really tank everything and make a lot of bad decisions to be worse than the Glazers. Is it possible? Yeah. And it was possible David Moyes could have won a treble that year. Is it likely? No. It's more likely that you finish in 7th, if you know what I'm saying. So I think that whoever comes in following the Glazers will obviously get a sympathetic welcome. Will obviously be, like, all jokes aside, I've seen people talking about like the worst regimes in the world could come and buy United and it'd be better than the Glazers. So literally anyone, just the most random anonymous businessman is going to get treated like a king as he comes through the gates of Old Trafford. That's just a fact, isn't it? Matthew Bassett said, would I take any players from Juventus given their situation? And Chris Dunn said, what's the odds on raiding Juventus for talent? Now, the last I saw of this was just that Tancredi Palmieri report, which said this is going to be worse than 2006. Now, in 2006, they were relegated. Has anything actually come out and said what is going to happen with Juventus yet? And I've missed it because I haven't seen that sort of thing. Yes, there's players at Juventus that you would want. Locatelli, Vlahovic are the probably standout ones that you want to go and get, but like, you're improving United. You're just improving United, and that's that. Ralph Gomez says Pog back. Someone tweeted me yesterday with Pog back. Oh yeah. It's let's just leave that one where he is, shall we? Santa Notch says Chiesa. Yeah, me and Ronaldo was talking about Chiesa, but I think with what we've just invested into Anthony, I'd be surprised if they went for Chiesa. Hell of a player though. Is he coming up? Is it a knee injury he's just had? My top 3 goal celebrations ever, says MK Dizzle. Right, straight off the bat, it's Lee Sharp, Aston Villa, 1995, 94 or 95, with this old Sharpie shuffle. Second, Ollie's knee slide at the Nou Camp. Third, Andy Cole, Barcelona away. It's in the 99 season, but I think it was October or November 1998 when he runs off toward the focus sign, laughing. That is, he's running off like that. That's, yeah, them 3. Eric's standing in, just looking round after he scored the chip against Sunderland. That's got to be up there. Yep. Mate's dunked in a super chat and then gone, oops, supposed to say that waist loss pic on Instagram today was unreal. I posted it before. I'll put it on my stories. I think a lot of people hadn't seen it. Basically, last year, I bought a shirt that was allegedly my size and I put it on and it's not good. If you don't know what I'm on about, Mr. Stephen Howson on Instagram, it's still there now. And then last night I wore that shirt. And it was actually my wife's idea because we'd obviously started to try and get back in some sort of shape. And she said, why don't you keep the shirt rather than return it and use it as a bit of a transformation sort of pick, which we did. So yeah, buzzing. Now I need to buy a smaller shirt and do the same. Deshan says, would we be buying players in January considering the sale of the club? This worries me. This one does worry me because I think United have got the opportunity to steam into the top 4. There's 5 teams going to be going for top 4. I think Arsenal and City are probably sewn up inside the top 4, barring a major catastrophe. Which means that United, Chelsea, Tottenham, Liverpool. Who else is in there? There's someone else that I'm missing in there. Newcastle are all definitely going for those final 2 spaces. And 5 into 2 doesn't go. So someone's missing out in a big way. And I think United have an opportunity. I think Ten Hag's got us playing some good football. And the progress has been really good. But without a striker, 1 injury, and we are well in the shit, aren't we? We're moments away from giving Charlie McNeil a debut and hoping he can do something. So I think it'd be mismanagement to not allow Ten Hag to bring in any striker. Even if it was a free transfer, even if it was another over-the-hill striker, it's still better than nothing. Now, I wouldn't prefer that. I would prefer us that we actually invested some money in a young striker that we could go and back for a while, but that might not be feasible in January. Chris Richardson with a super chat says, Lent mind it happening sooner, or don't mind it happening sooner rather than later, and poach Bellingham before the Scousers get in. I'd love, Enzo doing bits, Bellingham doing bits. There's a few players out here that are putting in some solid performances. Would I want to see them come in? Absolutely, but I think there's a desperation for a striker. Desperation for a striker. And I think that needs fixing. Ronnie says Gakpo looks a certain signing or certain player. I'd agree on certain player. I don't know if you could say certain signing just yet. Abhinav says I'd rather us getting Enzo and a striker over Jude. You'd probably get both of those things for the same price. Jude's going to cost you, I think. English tax on players is a madness, isn't it? MJ says, yeah, we definitely need a striker. Do us a flavour. Like the video. Done? All right, sound. Jibak says, wouldn't United's price get hammered if we didn't qualify for the Champions League for 2 years straight? Glazers might want to avoid that and bring in bare minimum reinforcements. That's a good call, actually. Hadn't considered that. Yeah, are United a more attractive prospect, therefore worth more if they are a Champions League competing club at the time of the sale versus another year or two in the doldrums in the Europa League? Yeah, good point, mate. Well made. Andy says, does spending 150 million on Bellingham, then listing him as a 250 million asset make Glazer sense? Yeah. Abhinav says, looking at Holland play this World Cup makes me realise how hard it was watching United under LVG. Yes. Stig says, Cantona for president of football with a class of 92 owners, am I taking? Yes. Would it work? No idea. Would I take it and just see? Yes. Lucky Singh says, just hold Manchester United fans for next year full sale. Yeah, the important thing is here, we don't want the Glazers to sell 20% for a big fat investment and then just run it back into the ground again. We want them gone. Sell us, take your fucking ill-gotten gains and fuck off, man. You know what I mean? Just get out of here. Go and fucking enjoy retirement. Super Ronnie says, I think they're going to be an 8 to 10 billion pound club. I do. And a lot of people rubbish that in the comments, but I can't see how there isn't a bidding war which really pushes the price into that 10 billion sort of range. Gaz says, is there much substance in the Real Madrid to come in for Fernandes rumours, do I reckon? I haven't seen those, but I will definitely be looking into those almost immediately because I think he's had a hell of a World Cup. And that's that. Jeff says, any inside info on any buyers? Right now, boys, I've got zero inside info on any signings or any buyers. So maybe, but no. I don't have it. If it's happening, I don't know about it. Why am I wearing a German shirt? Why are people obsessed with what colour tops I wear? I honestly don't get it. I like the shirt. And I was just having something to eat with the lads, and I was like, I don't know why. I don't really wear club shirts at all, but it's something about the international shirts that I really like. And I was like, you know what? I think it's because there's no sponsor on them. I think I like it because there's no sponsor shirt on them. MK Dizzle says, give me the richest owners possible. Not asked about the class of 92 takeover. Nick Eel says, have you found any Nike shirts yet? Right. So me and Ronaldo went to a mall again yesterday, and while I was in the mall yesterday, and I think I filmed this for the vlog too, so check it out. There's a vlog coming out later. I think it's like today. If not, it's tomorrow. I think it's a FIFA thing, right? So Adidas are FIFA's official World Cup sponsor, and it would make sense that in the official World Cup pop-up stores, of which there's quite a few, you can only buy the Adidas team shirts. That would make sense, right? And no one's got a drama with that. But obviously, there's a million other, well, not a million, but there's half a dozen other kit suppliers out here. And I was desperate to get my hands on a Ghana Black Stars shirt. Can't find it. I managed to find an England shirt for sale yesterday, but it was only an England kids one in the Nike shop. So went into the Nike shop. Now they've got the Qatar kit for sale. And you're like, okay, Qatar kit. We're in Qatar, I guess. That's a Nike kit. Think about all the other Nike teams. Portugal, Brazil, England, USA. I missed someone there as well, but like there's a lot of like huge France Nike teams. None of their stuff's for sale anywhere. And I've gone to like 3 different malls now. I can't see any of those shirts for sale. Now, is it some sort of mad conspiracy? It's probably not a conspiracy, but it probably is one of the rulings that you're not allowed to sell kits of the other nations when it's an Adidas sponsored event. Like you can only use Visa in the stadiums. All my cards are MasterCard. I mean, that's all I have. So, no, they're not sold out. They're not sold out. They're just not for sale. Genuinely, they're not for sale. I've been to 3 different malls and all the different shops, they're not for sale. And I just think that it's something along the lines of you're not allowed to sell them because they're a rival manufacturer, which is fucking mental, isn't it? When you think about it. When am I taking Ronaldo to the Qatarium? Well, you'll have to look at today's vlog and it'll give you the answers to what's going on there. Is the food worth the price over there? Says Super Ronnie. I'd be skinting one day. The food prices haven't been bad, to be honest. No one said the food price has been bad. I went to Nando's because all the lads was raving about it. And honestly, I was pretty disappointed. Bob says, Steve just won a bottle of M&S gin on Sparks 12 days. Is it better than Guinness or bitter? I don't drink gin, so I couldn't tell you. Would I take Kessie as a replacement for Fred? Yes. Is that an option though? Mason, new stadium or renovate Old Trafford? Renovate Old Trafford all day long. Ed says, I need the Paddock vest/jersey ASAP. I've brought 2 basketball ones here. They're based on the Chicago Bulls ones. I get sent prototype stuff all the time, and there's a Paddock basketball shirt, which is well cool. Have I stolen anything from Uncle Pat's gaff? Not yet. If you're interested in getting some Paddock merch, there is some merch stuff on sale at the moment. I think Notch, you've been asking for a free X. There's no free X's. I don't even think they do a 3X in it. Let me just ask with Janine and see if we can get one sorted out. But I think there's a struggle on those sorts, on that size. But if you want to get involved, there is a Cyber Monday sale. If you order before Sunday, the link is in the description. If you order before Sunday at midnight, there's 15% off all the Puma kits, the home and away shirts, over on the Paddock FC website. And we've got, I don't know if the hoodies have sold out now. We only had like very, very few numbers, pure limited edition, and it looks sick. Some merch that we've had like done in collaboration with Puma. And they are super, super limited edition. So if you want to get your hands on them, there won't be a restock. There's this little handful. They're in stock now at the studio. They're getting posted out as we speak, barring like Royal Mail strikes. So if you want to get your hands on them, they're top quality. Head over to the link in the description. Otherwise, it's stretfordpaddockfc.com/shop. 15% off currently at the moment for Cyber Monday. You got until Sunday for that. But it's also the Paddock casual wear as well if you want to check that stuff out. ETH says, get the sausage rolls ordered for the start of spring. Notch says 3XL is not possible for the blue away only. I'll literally message Janine now and just say, did he do it? We might be able to get a one-off. Ed says, since Juve have gone back in time to 2006, who are we nicking off them this summer? I want to see what happens with it. I really want to see what happens with it. Goober says, any plans to stream Paddock games next year? I don't think so, unless we get some mad 6-figure sponsorship, because the amount of staff needed and the equipment needed and the infrastructure needed to do that, it's probably going to be too costly for us to do. So I don't think we'll be doing that just yet. We will continue and probably improve what we've got in terms of the audio broadcast. Dre was off this weekend, so it wasn't available. But if you're interested in listening along, we do a 90-minute broadcast during the games that you guys can tune in for. So if you want to listen along with the games, you can definitely do that. And I think they've been going down quite well. How was it meeting Poch, says Liam McPherson. I had a really nice chat with him. You'll probably see that on not the vlog coming out today, the one following. We had like a real nice, genuine conversation. And he seems like a good guy. I still wouldn't have him manage United, but he was a genuine, nice guy, and I could see why man management's probably something that he's good at. So yeah, he was it was good, and it was a good conversation. If you've not seen that, we had a little chat with him on Vibe with Five, so if you can go and check that one out. Adidas are doing fan shirts with no sponsor on next season. Interesting. Notch says Barry Dravis has been top. Ed says Poch seems like a nice guy. Too soft for us though. Bob says Webby and O'Neill have a Robbo interview up just now. Sensational. I'll check that out. Gerald says, how are you doing today? Any news on players coming in January? Nothing, mate. Nick Hill says zero mention of Ronaldo in his top players list was interesting. Was it for an Argentinian to completely fucking ignore Ronaldo? I don't think it was, to be honest. Am I going to many more of the World Cup games? Trying to get a ticket for Spain versus Japan tonight. And then I'll have to wait and see what comes available for the rest of the knockouts. I think it'll be getting pretty tough after this. But, I'd love to get to an Argentina or Brazil game. And if I can get to those, I'll be very, very happy. But if I don't get to those, I'm still happy anyway. I'm grateful to be out here, and I'm grateful to experience a World Cup. It's been fun. Some of the scenes was an absolute madness. Like, went out with Bastian Schweinsteiger Monday night. What's all that about? I was sitting in a corner as Rio and Bastian Schweinsteiger, and I said to Ash Williams, actually, like, there's not many people that can embarrass Rio's trophy hall, is there? But Bastian manages it. Just a mad experience. So it's all good. I saw some of the Wales players last night, just obviously on their way home. But yeah, it's been cool. It's been good, and it's actually. Do you know what? I've been thinking about this in terms of the coverage back home. From what I can see, has been super negative, and they're talking a lot about, you know, what's Qatar's aim in this, and there's talk about the sports washing and things like that. And I'm not sure. I don't know if this is a Western way of looking at things, where they're like, oh, Westerners don't want to go to that country, so why are they even bothering? But it's 2 million Muslims in the world. And what if they've had a fantastic experience, especially with the no alcohol side of things? Is that a problem? I don't say that's a problem. You know, maybe what's Qatar going to do when the oil runs out? It needs to probably develop some sort of tourism. And I think that, from my experience here, I think it would be a good place for a lot of people to holiday. Definitely not everybody. And some of the laws that they've got don't align with what we do in the West. But what if they're not looking to attract that? You know, I think there's been an angle that this has been looked at, especially from the UK and America. And I don't necessarily have a major issue with some of the things that people have criticised. I think there's some fair criticism of some of the things that have gone on here. But I don't remember this. It might have been there, but I don't remember it. When the Olympics was in Beijing, you know, where was talk of like totalitarian regimes and slave labour and stuff with the Beijing Olympics? Where was all of the dramas with the Russian World Cup? I don't know. I don't know if I'm just more attuned to it now, or if it was there and I didn't see it. I don't know, but yeah. Kevin says 5 things we learned from the group stages. Yes, we'll be doing that. Norfolk says loving the Insta content. Thank you. Yeah, go and follow us on Instagram if you've not already. Do you support England now? No, I'm here supporting United players, or ex-United players as well. Tony Marshall said the Germany kit is fire. David S says, what happened with Juve? Did I miss something? There's a lot of Italian journalists and Juve specialist journalists that have been saying Juventus are in the shit. Their whole board resigned like a week ago or a few days ago. Now there's a lot of talk coming out that this looks like it's something very, 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 very serious for Juventus. B. Hughes says, I don't agree with everyone having guns or no abortion. Will the protest the US? Someone literally said, was you out with me last night? Someone literally said the same things last night. Is there going to be protests against, healthcare and access rights in America or guns? No. And if not, then it's hypocritical as fuck, isn't it? Notch says sport was banned in apartheid South Africa. See, apartheid South Africa, I don't know enough to comment on what the score was with all of that lot. But then I remember there was didn't they host a World Cup? They hosted a Rugby Union World Cup afterwards, didn't they? Film Fat Boy says one thing about Qatar, it's safe. See, I got some people that I know that live out here, and I was chatting to them guys, and they're like, yeah, we don't lock our doors. And I'm like, okay, but you've got like 1 million people from all over the world here now. Like, whether or not the Qatari culture is a safe one where no one's going to like break into your house and rob your shit, there's nothing to say that the football fans that have come over aren't going to do that. So maybe lock your doors, lad. Thomas says, can't see us buying anyone with a club going on sale. Hope for McNeil and Brandon getting a game. Suam says, so glad the Glazers are finally out. Well, soon. Adam says, did I ever think I would be hanging out with all these football greats when I first started off on fan channels? No. And I still don't get it today. I mean, I'm off in a bit to go probably do just that. And it feels a little bit normal, but also at the same time, I don't think it'll ever be normal. Shadwin says, yeah, South Africa hosted the 95 Rugby World Cup and the 03 cricket and FIFA. Oh, yeah, of course it did. Yeah, the FIFA World Cup in 2010. Have I been getting fanboy? What do you mean? What does that mean? Oh, when I meet people? No, I think the only person... I mean, I did a little bit with Bastion. I don't know why. Bastion really took to United, didn't it? In a mad way, which I appreciate in a huge way. But yeah, I don't know. I think I would with Beckham and R9. Not seen him yet. but we'll see. Sunstrider says, yeah, apartheid South Africa held the Rugby World Cup. Was quite a remembered thing in New Zealand because all Maori All Blacks got honorary white visas. Wait. Was there still apartheid in 95 during the World Cup? I'm going to have to go and do some reading. And I'm a little bit annoyed at myself for not knowing more about that. I will have to go and have a look at that. Did I ask Bastian why the midfield failed? No. Substat says South Africa was readmitted back in 92 or 94, and since then it's held numerous sporting tournaments, including a World Cup. Right, okay, cool. It ended in 94. 1994. Think about that, was so recent for some of the drastic changes to end apartheid. Mental. That's fucking nuts. That's colour TV time. That's not even like, oh, it was in the black and white days, or it was a different era. No, that was literally not that long ago in the grand scheme of things. When was the last time United played friendlies in December? I seem to remember someone's testimonial. I'm sure against like Celtic or someone like that, or Ireland. Someone had one in December, I'm almost certain of it. Yeah, it doesn't happen often. Surely doesn't happen often. Righty, we are dropping a vlog later and we'll be back again. Anything breaks with United, we'll be going live. So make sure to subscribe, bang on the notifications, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.